Hi Aries, welcome to your July 2020 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description of the video for more details there. As for what's in front of us, it's what I call the bridge and the gap spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. These are the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards with some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. As for the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And keep in mind it's a general reading, so while I'm going to refer to the cards on the left as your energy, if you feel like your energy sounds more like the cards on the right, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, past energy on your side, we have Justice. So this is actually the major arcana card that represents Libra energy. So for some of you, this could just be saying that you really saw the potential for this to be a long-term committed relationship with this person. For some of you, I'm also getting a vibe of maybe there was some distance between the two of you. So maybe, they might have had to go away for some business, let's say, or something along those lines. And you decided, all right, well, I'm just going to do my own thing and wait for you to come back. Just really keeping the connection faithful and honest in that regard. And for others of you, it could just be saying that you're actually waiting for this person to come and restore the balance in the connection. So maybe if there was some kind of a falling out, for example, maybe you just decided, you know what, I'll give them their time, let them come back around and fix things when they're ready. Past energy on their side, we have the Sun. So this doesn't really point to a particular zodiac sign, although given that it rules Leo, we do think of Leo energy with this sometimes, but that could just be pointing to the energy they brought to the connection, which is to say they brought a lot of love, maybe it's very romantic, happy connection, a lot of energy between the two of you, a lot of passion. And this could just be saying on another note that maybe this person was just a bit more playful in the connection, whereas you were maybe taking things a bit more traditionally and seriously. But that's what I'm seeing there. The present energy on your side, we have balance. So this is actually the equivalent of the temperance card in traditional tarot, which is Sagittarius energy. So this could just be saying that you might have felt like they were a good compliment to you. Maybe for some of you this could even be a water sign. And then we do see Venus mentioned in this card as well. And given that you guys are ruled by Mars, that's another example of how you might feel like that they really just balance you out in some way. So for example, if you're a bit more passionate, maybe a bit more outgoing, they might be more of the emotional type and maybe a little more quiet. It's just one generic way. But also with this coming up in this position too, it could just be saying that, again, if there was some kind of distance between the two of you, whether they were just out away on business or maybe you were in a different city for a while and you guys couldn't see each other with all the quarantines and all that stuff going on, maybe this is just pointing to the two of you physically reuniting as well. That's another thing that this could point to. The present position on their side, we have the wheel. So technically more Sagittarius energy here too, because this actually represents Jupiter energy. So could just be saying that maybe this is the energy that this person has. Maybe if they're not a flat out Sagittarius, maybe it's just the energy that they bring. Maybe they might travel a lot. Maybe they're from a different culture or background from you. Could just be saying that things might have been going well for them as well. So like I was saying with the feeling of separation between the two of you, for example, let's say maybe they had a business opportunity in another city, they decided to pursue it, and maybe things just really took off for them, but it looks like you guys could just be reuniting in the present. But either way, this looks like a lucky expansive energy between the two of you. Future energy on your side, we have the Nine of Staves. So this is actually more Sagittarius energy here too. But this energy represents usually being pretty guarded. Sometimes this can point to potential conflicts that might have taken place between the two of you, which I'm not really seeing any indicator of that outright. You guys both have major arcana cards in the past and present, and positive ones at that. So it looked like things were going fine between the two of you. So to see this, a minor arcana card in the future, I don't necessarily feel like this energy is going to be a big deal for most of you. You know, for example, maybe it's as simple as you guys might have an argument or something along those lines, and you might take a little time to cool off. That's one way I could see that playing out. And I mean, that makes sense. We do have Mercury retrograde right now, and it's in your fourth house. So, especially if this is someone that you do live with, or maybe you spend a lot of time with at the very least at home, maybe there would be a little conflict there, but I don't think it's going to be like a big deal breaker or anything, but it definitely might have you feeling a little guarded for a while. And for some of you, this can just say that maybe, especially given that we're going to have that full moon eclipse in Capricorn, which is your 10th house, this could even just say that maybe your focus has to shift for a while towards more career oriented things for a while. So maybe you won't be able to put as much energy into the relationship. All right. And future energy on their side, we have the moon. So looking at this in combination with the card on your side in the future, I do have to say just, keep an eye out for the energies around that full moon eclipse. There's definitely going to be some tricky energy around that time. That's around the 5th of July, by the way, so pretty early in the month. So that could even just point to a timeline as far as when this conflict might take place between the two of you. So if you'd like to avoid that, and if you feel something coming up around that time, just remind yourself, oh, you know what, could just be the energies at play. Let me try to calm down and give it a little time. For others of you, this can represent that they might be feeling confused because, let's say, if you're the one who just shuts down seemingly without reason, given that, like I said, we do see that positive progression and then it just seems to come to a halt there. Could just be saying that they might be a bit confused by you closing off in some way. And for others of you, this can represent that maybe they could be confusing you, right? Maybe you might feel that there's some deception at play and then that might cause you to shut down for that reason. So like I said, I wouldn't, especially given the cards that we do see here in the past and the present, for the majority of you, I don't think that would actually be something serious. I feel like it might just be more the retrogrades that might cause some confusion between the two of you, but we'll see. Maybe the Oracle cards will give us a bit of a clue one way or another there. The bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Five of Cups. And, this is Scorpio energy here, definitely represents an energy of being disappointed. Now, I do have to say for some of you, and I do still feel like it'd be a small percentage of you, this could just be one of those things where maybe you might be viewing the connection as a very serious long-term thing, whereas this person might just view you as an option. I don't necessarily pick up on that vibe for a lot of you though, but I did have to at least mention that since we do see the Five of Cups here. But for more of you, I feel again like this is going to be one of those things where maybe you guys might get into a bit of an argument, and then there might be some disappointment afterwards. So I don't really think it's going to be major. But seeing that at the bottom of the deck definitely looks like there could be some arguments this month, so try to avoid it if you can. Bottom of the deck on their side, we actually have the Knave of Pentacles, which is the equivalent to the Page of Pentacles. So yeah, I do have to say when taking this into consideration as well, it can be possible that some of you might be dealing with someone that's a bit more non-committal than you are. And that could be where the disappointment might come into play. Where like I was saying, you might feel like you're further along and maybe you guys are going to be moving towards exclusivity and they might still be exploring their options. All right. So first we'll see if we get any messages from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck here. And for those of you who haven't seen this type of reading from me before, I actually did pre-shuffle this deck, and I'm just going to be looking for some jumpers here. First, I'll be looking for unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while, nothing comes up, I just take that as a sign to move on to the next Oracle deck, since it's just a general reading. But we'll see if we get anything. Like I said, first we're looking for messages from you to them. All right, Alright, nothing coming up yet, but I'll give it a few more shuffles. Okay, nothing there. So next we'll see if we get any unspoken messages from them to you. Oh, actually you got two that flipped. So, alright. Whoa. Alright, first one says, I've never forgotten you even though you think I have. So interesting message there where I was saying that for some of you, I was picking up on that vibe that there might have been distance between the two of you in the past. And maybe this does represent that for some of you, they might actually come back around. And, maybe that's what it is, whereas you guys just might move at different speeds if that's the case, meaning that if they come back around, like, oh, let me reconnect with Aries, you might think, oh, this is meant to be, and then you just, your mind immediately starts racing toward the future. Whereas for them, they might just say, all right, well, let's take things a little more slow, So that's one way I could see the energy playing out. And the next one says, I'm finally feeling the consequences of my action. So another interesting message there too, because if you remember when I was talking about justice, where I was saying I feel like for some of you, you might have been waiting for them to come fix the situation if you feel like, they had actually played a part in breaking the connection apart in the past, and you were just like, you know what, I'll give them some time, let them come back around and fix it. But, you might have just been standing your ground in that regard, meaning that, with the justice card, you're like, all right, they screwed it up. They're going to have to come fix it. Then we could restore balance from there. So, could be one of those things too. But hopefully those resonated with you. And next we'll move on to the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And same situation here. I did pre-shuffle this deck, but here I'm just looking for one card and then we'll wrap up. Oop, actually, hold on, that card fell. And it looked like another one flipped over, so let's see. Alright, so that one came up in reverse, and we also have Unfinished Symphony. So, when they come up in reverse in this deck, they're meant to be, we're supposed to read the protection message for that. So I'll read the protection message for this one, and then we'll read the regular messages for Unfinished Symphony. So just to show you the artwork anyways, here's a change in the wind, there's the artwork, and the number is 12. So like I said, we'll just be reading the protection message there, since it came out reversed. Okay, it says, there are conditions brewing in your life you have no control over. Don't fight them. Change is inevitable and is for the best, for the higher good. Even if the storm blows your way, the structures you think you've built your dreams on. Even if the storm blows away, the structures you think you've built your dreams on, all will turn out as it should. You will have a renewed clarity and strength to do something even better. Spirit is your ally. So definitely an interesting message there. As far as, like I said, especially when I mentioned built your dreams on, where I was saying, maybe you guys might just get ahead of yourselves a little bit with this connection and think, oh, all right, this is definitely it. This is the one, right? And then for them, they might just be still exploring their options a little bit. It could just be saying that you might need to pace yourself and it might just require a course correction in that regard. But next we have Unfinished Symphony. There's the artwork there, and number is 10. So we'll see what that says. Okay, it says unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, the need to make amends. The Oracle's message. This is a time to tie up loose ends as you near the completion of a cycle or project and mastery of a lesson or skill. Before you can move forward, it's important that you come to terms with where you are now. Practice radical acceptance. Take inventory so that emotional and psychological closure can occur and the answers you seek will be found. You can't move forward if you are leaving things unfinished. Reflect on what has passed so that the symphony can finally end on a high note. So, definitely an interesting message there, and it does seem to support what I was thinking could have been the case for some of you, where, like I said, excuse me, maybe there was some kind of falling out that the two of you had, and you were just waiting for them to come back around to fix things. So, hopefully, that resonated with you guys. And then the relationship message says moving on is difficult when love lingers, things are left unsaid, and you haven't had the opportunity for closure in your relationship and in your heart. You can still feel bound up in relationships when closure is denied you. It's important to achieve this for yourself. Write that letter, make that call, or have that conversation over a cup of coffee. For peace of mind, accept things as they are, make amends if need be, and declare your feelings, even if only to yourself. Be clear about what was left unresolved, and close the door on the past so you can set yourself free. Only then can new love blossom. So, definitely an interesting message there. I still feel like for the majority of you, like I said, I feel like this might be more of a minor conflict, but definitely given that it's Unfinished Symphony, this might be a situation that you do have more history with. But hopefully that message resonated with you guys. I'll wrap up there and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.